Hey everyone, in today's episode of Chun Up, I'm excited for Jedi Fallen Order because Titanfall 2 is a masterpiece.
We're done hiding, Cal.
Welcome to the show. My name's Christian Buckley. This week was a abridged week because of the long weekend, so short week for news, short week for me to have experience with any new media to talk about, to consume. It's been busy week, but Jedi Fallen Order is rapidly approaching. Star Wars is one of my favorite things in the world. I am hosting a Star Wars podcast here on JoyClicks where we rewatch one movie in the Skywalker saga every week leading up to The Rise of Skywalker this December. First 3 episodes are out now. But Jedi Fallen Order is the second piece of the Triforce of Star Wars happening this year. Obviously, like I just mentioned, we have The Rise of Skywalker coming up very soon. Jedi Fallen Order fits in nice into the bottom right corner. Bottom left corner, we got The Mandalorian, which I'm sure is going to be great. But Jedi Fallen Order is something that has an arc, I guess, of how I feel about it. From the initial announcement of Jedi Fallen Order, I was really excited because I believe they announced in 2016 that Respawn would be working on a third-person action Star Wars game. And this was after Titanfall 2 came out and blew me away. Titanfall 2, if you haven't played it, like I said at the top of the show, it's a masterpiece. And I don't use that lightly. Titanfall 2 is my favorite first-person shooter of all time. It's my favorite first-person shooter this generation. One of my favorite games this generation. It's just so good at what it does. Because Titanfall builds this world. It has this world that exists when we hop in, because Titanfall 1 did not have a campaign. It had some lore through its multiplayer, but hopping into Titanfall 2, we're just jumping right in the middle of it. This world exists, there's power struggles, there's different factions, there's titans. That's pretty much all you need to know, because from there, we get this awesome sci-fi buddy cop adventure between Jack Cooper and BT going off into this world of threats, of aliens, of corrupt organizations, and there's just so many amazing set pieces. There's this entire section of the game that instead of just giving you a nice hallway to run through like a normal first-person shooter could, you're running through this factory that's building houses, and as you progress through the level, the houses are more and more complete because it's an assembly line, and the houses are platforms that you wall run on, that you use for cover, that you use to jump and get the advantage on your enemies. The game is very good. I won't spoil a lot of the other aspects of the campaign that make it amazing, but it's such a fun ride. It's not too long, very, very worth checking out. So because of those reasons, that's why I was incredibly excited to learn about Jedi Fallen Order and its existence. When that first trailer hit, I'm gonna say I was a little mild. I was expecting them to come out of the gate red hot, but it was mild. You know, I wanted Diablo sauce at my Taco Bell, but I got mild. I prefer mild, so that's probably not a good example. Then once we got to E3, we got a better idea about what this game is going to be. There were obvious influences from the Souls series, Uncharted vibes, heavy Uncharted vibes. Even within Star Wars, you could draw comparisons on the surface level, at least, to a game like The Force Unleashed or the canceled Star Wars 1313, which I don't have a problem with. I thought Force Unleashed was fine. Was kind of worried that Jedi Fallen Order was just going to be, hey, what if we took this game, made it in 2019, then released it? And I should not have doubted Respawn, because after hearing this week's impressions from people, press, who got to play, I think around 2.5 hours of the game, and after that last trailer, I'm kind of more excited for this than I am for... I can't say that. I'm really excited to see the other 2 Star Wars projects in this Triforce of the Fall, but Fallen Order is going to be exciting, okay? If you haven't read a lot of the impressions this week, there's even more comparisons that people are drawing to Zelda-like dungeons, temples to explore, God of War from 2018, Souls is definitely there, Uncharted is there, but it leans into the exploration and mysticism of Star Wars, where something like a Battlefront is so focused on the scale, scope, and spectacle, which has its merit. I enjoy Battlefront 2's multiplayer. I paid like $7 for it, but I still enjoy it. But Jedi Fallen Order, it sounds like it's going to be a great time. It sounds like what I've wanted out of Star Wars games most of my life, and I've gotten rarely. And while it can be reductive to compare this game to its inspirations, which is fair because there definitely are inspirations in this game, I think it stands unique because we haven't seen Star Wars take this approach yet. Like, think about Battlefront. When the original Battlefront came out, the OG Battlefront. Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, first-person shooters, they were the hotness. They still are, but like back then when they were first kicking off on console, that was a big deal. So Battlefront aping those games, yeah, it's like taking inspiration from first-person shooters of that time, but it's making it Star Wars, because Star Wars is just this incredibly deep well to draw from. And similarly to Titanfall, it's this world that exists that we can just hop into. And through Cal Kestis and BD1, similarly to Jack Cooper and BT, I think we're going to have a lot of really great moments, a lot of really strong Star Wars vibes to go on for this adventure. And that's incredibly exciting for me. I guess going into it now, where I was expecting a really, really solid 7 out of 10, I think I'm trying to treat it the way that I was expecting to enjoy Spider-Man last year. Because with Spider-Man, yeah, it wasn't doing anything crazy new, but it was a game where you were Spider-Man. And it was a good game where you were Spider-Man with an interesting story. Yeah, it was predictable, but it felt so good to be in that world. Because where it's so important for Spider-Man to feel good swinging through that city, I think it's equally as important for a lightsaber to feel the way we expect it to. It should have some weight to it, not too much, because it is a beam of light, but there should be a weightiness to these attacks, even though we get to slice through things like butter. One of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite pieces of info to come out of this news drop is talking about difficulty and how to pair that with expectations and how the game should feel. A member of the team stated that it's incredibly important to them. It was something they were always thinking of, that enemy health should not be cranked up on higher difficulties. Attack patterns, their stamina, basically the way you interact with them in a fight is what is going to change, because a lightsaber is a lightsaber, and we have an expectation that when a lightsaber full force gets a swipe through something, the thing's getting desecrated. So hearing that priority is going to be implemented into the game, as far as how the game is designed, makes me very excited. And I have faith that Respawn will be able to give Star Wars the same treatment come November 15th. But Pokemon's coming that day too, so big fan of Pokemon too. With these games, with these adventures, with these good vibes, Star Wars is good vibes, Pokemon is good vibes. Still meaning to get to Dragon Quest XI because my Switch was shipped out to get a repair, so I missed the launch of that and Link's Awakening. But both of those games are great vibes, I think we're in for a good, strong fall. Maybe we won't be blown away, Death Stranding could be okay. I am chomping at the bit to experience Death Stranding, but as far as I'm concerned at this moment, Star Wars is going to be a good time. That's going to do it for the show, though. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chun Up. If you did, you can subscribe, because that's nice. I appreciate you stopping by, checking things out. If you do enjoy the show, if you checked out any of the other podcasts, if you like them, consider going to patreon.com/joyclicks, where you can see some cool information about myself, my friends who work on shows with me here on the channel, and you could support it if you're feeling oh so generous to help us continue doing this, and maybe make something out of it, because that's what we all want to do here. If you don't, though, that's okay. You stopping by is enough, liking the video is enough, laughing at something I said is enough. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy your week. See you next time. Like I mentioned in the main show, I did get my Switch back after a month of not having it. The time it got taken away from me, I was knee-deep in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is my game of the year, still to this day. So this week, I haven't had tons of time, but in my free time, I have been working on it. I have reached the time skip, Black Eagles for life. I'm excited and having a great time, and snacking on some Blue Diamond almonds while I'm doing it. And apparently those can kill you, which I found that out like 20 minutes ago, so. See you next week.
Okay.